Welcome to the song breakdown of Dancers in the Dark. Today I'm gonna show you the entire process, how I made the song. So let's dive straight into it. We're gonna start with the guitars, which sounds like this. This is made with the Ilia FMO guitar plugin, and I wanted to record it afterwards with a real guitar, which sounds like this. And I blended those together. Added a tremolo effect. Just a copy of the above layer. Ton of reverb stuff. And then some guitar sparkle. So these are just playing some basic chords and going straight into the hook part where I strum the guitars. Using the same plugin here, and then recorded with another layer here. So, of course, the plugin version is a bit more clean, and the recorded version is a bit more added distortion to. And I used the FX3 for recording the real guitar. And I had a guitar player in the studio playing these lines. And yeah, we just dialed in some presets from the FX3 to get the sound. So let's move to the solo lead coming into the hook part. Here we just recorded the main lead as a mono signal, and then we also recorded 2 additional leads, just panning in left and right. And I also added this layer here. And then the synths are slowing in onto the drop before they are coming together nicely. So last part of the guitars, I just used the Ilia FMO plugin here on the chords on the bridge. Together with those sparkles, and it's just ending with the sparkles right there. Alright, enough of the guitars. Let's move on to the other chord parts of the song. The chords are basically made of pianos, synths, and pads. In the drop, a bit more aggressive. So let's dive into the pianos right here in the verse. Use Neuer plugin for this one. Really just straightforward chords. Going into the hook. And then I have some silent chords building up. Into the drop. Everything heavenly sidechained to the kick. Second verse, more plucky and tremolo pads. And then some more legato chords. Verse 2B part. Just keeping it building and building. So hook 2 is the same, but in the drop 2 I'm using these pianos here. And then some more legato chords in the drop 2 B part. Going into strings for the bridge. So here I'm using East-West, symphony strings, some Nexus patches. Yeah, fading into the drop. And the last part goes into the piano. The difference with drop 3 compared to drop 1 and 2 is there's no synths, or there's actually just 2 layers here, because the vocals takes the space on top. So listen to drop 1 or drop 2. Leads in front, and here vocals are in front. Okay, enough of the chords. Let's move on to the bass and drums. Alright, so the basses are nothing too fancy, just a hover and a sub bass in the verse. Then nothing happens before the build-up, which has this bass. So I had to carve out in the drop these two to make space for the growl, because the melody doesn't hit before some seconds later, and I have these brass hits too. I believe this was from Kashmir. Some vital bass sounds. And an ugly layer from Synthplant. Some mid bass. And then the main heavy bass here. It goes the same in the verse too, but now it's a bit more rhythm. In a big black hole, but there's nowhere else I'd rather be. Yeah, it's a really dark place, but I'm never. Yeah, we've been running. Goes the same all the way to the last part here, which is the bridge. Just having the main basses and the hover above. And then the same in last drop. Alright, on to the drums. So the drum starts with some snaps. And then it goes into the build-up. With the fill. So the fill was made with Addictive Drums 2. And then I believe I used the kick for the drop, was using kick 3. It also has a top layer. Same goes for the verse 2. Just a shorter kick, having a bunch of basic claps. And some claps building in the B section of the song. And the snare, of course. And these shakers here are really doing the rhythm part. And also the percussion down here, which is a cowbell with some percussion. So for the verse 2, it just goes into the clap with some 8s, hi-hats and kick. And it's evolving every 4 bar. Some more shakers and clap. Then you have the fill right here. It's just a delay clap and the crash. And then even more tambourines and shakers. The drop 2 is the same, just goes a bit different with the shakers. Since in the B section there's some toms coming in here, so I couldn't have the same loop. And the bridge part, it's just straightforward. And I have the bridge takeoff, which sounds like this. With some addictive drums fills. And the rest is just the same before the piano outro. Let's move on to the effects. So these are made up of rumble, sweeps, transition, drones and stuff. Like this sound here, just made of a reverse guitar. And then I added also some crystal effects. And it's using the crystal plugin, crystallizer from SoundToys. And it's added to a send channel with a ton of reverb. Then we have some more drone sounds here. And this was made with some shimmer effect, like the shimmer plugin from Valhalla. And I also used some vocals, which I recorded myself and just tucked them in there. And having some sparkles going in like a ARP rhythm. And the rest is just sweeps, like this one. And some ambient stuff going on. And then the guitar melody. Really need to make that impact. And it's sweeping towards the drop with the riser. So in every transition I have something going on. Yeah, and this effect is interesting, so it goes in the verse 2. I needed to have something ugly in the track. And the original demo had this weird ARP, which I distorted and tweaked and did a lot of things in melody and stuff. And yeah, just kind of made it more indie in the verse, which I really like the vibe of. Rest is on plucks with a lot of shimmer and reverb. Impacts and sweeps. And in the bridge part, certain crystals. And of course, added some birds in the bridge to make it more bright. Some basic sweeps going into the final drop. Then some rumble at the end. Both here in the piano and the outro. That's it for the effects. The leads is pretty straightforward too. We have some ambient hits here. Make it a bit more emotional in the verse. Just goes the same here. And then we have the saw build-up, which is made with Nexus. And then we have the different layers here. I'll just wrap it up a bit bigger. These are made with Nexus and Silent. Some piano distorted with a bit crusher. Some distorted squares. I've also automated the leads and the chords and the bass in different volume shapes, just to have it bounce a bit more. So if you look at the bass, it goes the same. So in the B section of drop 2, we have another layer coming in. Which is this one. So it's almost like a counter melody. But very filtered down to make space for the rest. And then we just have the drone hit again in the bridge. Yeah, and the rest is just non-leads almost in the final drop. Just some basic movement here. That's it for the leads. Let's jump to the final, which are the vocals. Nothing too crazy here. I have this in another project and I just exported the bus files into this one to have a bit more control. But basically this is up with the lead, main lead.
In a big black like mad, trying to find a magic remedy. Across the sky, written in the stars. Baby, we will die dancing in the dark, in the dark.
And this is just a straight mono lead, bounced to stereo. But it's having some dubs too, which is baked into the choir, which you can listen to here. And then it's also me singing in the background here.
Across the sky, written in the stars, baby, we will die dancing in the dark, in the dark.
And we also formatted vocals.
Across the sky, written in the stars, baby, we will die dancing in the dark, in the dark.
That's it, mainly the vocals. It's super simple, straightforward. The rest is just some delay throws and reverb. some ad-libs like these ones. Some pitched up, weird stuff. And these radio effects. Yeah, and that's it basically. The only change actually is in the second hook. Which are some extra harmonies. And then the bridge is the final takes where we have some extra dubs where they sing together in the choir.
Yeah, forever dancing in the dark, that's just what we are. Yeah, this is the soundtrack of our life, dance until we die. Yeah, it's all across the sky, written in the stars.
Alright, that's it for this song breakdown. Thank you for watching.